Off we go. And into the lead has gone straight away from pole position, his half-hour final of the European Short Course Championship. It is in the lead. The number 1 truck of Matthew Perry. Behind him is Mark Kressig, and in third it's Tommy Chung. In fourth it will be the 6th truck of Cyril Antimov. So he's the big mover early on, but 1 and 2. No great surprise that Perry gets away. He has won every single race he's bothered entering. He didn't win the 4th round of qualifying, he didn't enter it, but already swinging that truck round the corners. And attempting to break away from Kressig. Now Kressig's holding on to him, thankfully. Because otherwise, it could be run away. Kressig actually now is beginning to kind of gain a little bit. We saw in the first, in the semi-final, both the semi-final, Perry got away, and then Kressig managed to catch up with him. Next the Kressig now is catching up. So Perry on the lows, Kressig on the constantly evolving and now improved MCD coming now onto the hairpin. So it's the orange and black. It's Kressig in second. It's the sort of fawn, white and various colours of Perry at the front. And they are now right together. Tommy Chung third, Civil Anthony fourth. And these four-wheel drive trucks flying the double, no problem whatsoever. Now, unfortunately, a bit of a tank slapper for Kressig. Just gives the lead lightly there. And Chung slightly now beginning to get his pace and crawl back towards the leaders. Perry's last out 43.6, 43.5, 42.9 for Chung. The fastest we've seen is a 42.8 from Antimov. Now remember, these now seem just about the best conditions they've had in all week as it's dried out. We've also got sun now. We are expecting rain, but not during this race, expecting for the next race. As Perry chases hard after Kressig. So they are together. The gap now that time round 43.3, 43.5. As we are 2.5 down, 27 to go. First four still in it. Rest of the field beginning to stretch out. Fifth place truck is the 4 car of David Parrish. Through the Samba S's go the two leaders. Matthew Perry with a nice little lead. It's not a one mistake lead, but I don't actually remember seeing Matthew Perry making a mistake in any of the races we've watched him so far. Kressig actually braked coming into the short hop, and it's Kressig could be looking at more on the picture now. Coming up in second place. That time round, it was a 2/10 gain for Perry, and Kressig's gone very wide here, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. He's gone wide, he's held the car the whole way. Now, what is interesting, after a small mistake there by Kressig, is that Tommy Chung, the veteran British driver, is dragging Cyril Antimov along, and it could become a battle for 2, 3, and 4, which is going to be great news for Perry because he'll be able to escape in the lead. Looking now at that third and fourth battle between Chung in the white truck with the red and the blue at the back, and the all-yellow truck of the Bulgarian Cyril Antimov. So it's Britain, Germany, Britain, Bulgaria so far, and now Chung's bridging the gap towards Kressig. Kressig wasn't really dropped by Perry there, so Chung now making a push for a... I don't know whether he won a European Championship in his pomp back in the 80s, but looking to perhaps claim his first European Championship. Antimov rolls over. That's going to take him off the back of Tommy Chung. Let's move forward one truck. Back to Kressig, who's now, again, has not really been dropped. Last 2 laps, he's been pretty neutral with Perry. A couple of tenths here, a couple in there, but he's certainly a little bit further back this lap. He's lost a few tenths in this lap. They're all now flying that double. Perry crosses in a 43.6 and a 40 with Kressig. So actually, it's exactly, Kressig's gone way wide. Now he's not. He's trying. He does go wide because it helps him hit the apex of the King Cobra Racing corner better. That was too wide. He dragged the thing in. He lost a couple of tenths. And you can tell he lost a couple of tenths because Chung's closer, and the lead that was an absolute lead of 1.1 seconds is now stretched out to about 1.5 seconds, perhaps even 2 seconds for Matthew Perry, and Kressig has to look more now behind him as we now have 5 minutes down, 1/6 distance as these three trucks very much away from the rest, but in some ways now Perry beginning to open up a lead that could see him be able to relax at the front. So Perry crosses the line with a 43.4. Kressig, 44.6. Yeah, 1.2 seconds lost there. And also, Chung lost some time on Perry, but did gain on Kressig. So net winner there very much on that lap was Perry. Kressig has a bit of a problem. He has to try and find a way of arguing with Chung while not losing time. And no, Perry absolutely now is pulling away. He's found his real rhythm. And what he's doing effectively, if Kressig has a good lap, they stay the same distance. If Kressig has any problem at all, Perry pulls away a bit. So he was leading by 2.4 seconds. We go across this time. That lead, I think, may come down very slightly. Yep, 2.2. That's because Kressig had a good lap. Kressig is in a situation where he has to be absolutely the best he can be each lap, or Perry's going to pull on him. Chung's in third. So 6:44 down. And Perry's lead that time goes up by another 0.5 second, and now the battle really is second and third as the red and black MCD truck of Mark Kressig of Germany is fighting off the red, white and blue Losi truck of Tommy Chung from Britain. And onto the back straight they both go. I think actually it may actually do a minor gain towards Kressig that time. I didn't see it. Maybe a little stumble from Perry. Let's have a look this time round. He was leading by 3 seconds, and the lead now has come down. Actually, it wasn't a stumble by Perry. It was a really good lap by Kressig, 42.9. He gained 0.6. Best lap is a 42.6 actually by Dave Parrish, who's running around in 5th. You can see it was a good lap by Kressig because he suddenly managed to put a gap on Chung. But he's only to do 5 of those if he's going to actually get back up to the rear mud flaps of Matthew Perry. Now, the next interesting thing that's happening is both these guys are very soon going to start, and interesting, Kressig's definitely moved forward again this lap as well. Over the line, Perry 43.5, Kressig 42.7. So Kressig has found a real rhythm suddenly of 0.5 second faster than Perry, and suddenly they're absolutely coming together again. You'll see as the camera looks like that car landing the table. That's Perry with the butterscotch roof, butterscotch nose, should I say, and the white rears as the cars now move out of the way, and 10 car gets out for the second car in a row, and they're now starting the lappery already. That was the Damian Petrov car, the Bulgarian. So 2 Bulgarians in his final. So great performance by the small Eastern European, former Eastern European country. And next up for the 2 leaders will be Geerten van Medvoort. That lap round 43.6, 43.4. So even a 2/10 gain again. And Van Medov says right out of the way. Great drive by Van Medov, getting anything. So Kressig lost a couple of tenths there, but he's now suddenly putting Perry under pressure, and that's going to take the pressure off. He's made a mistake. He waits as well. I gained a bit there. I've waited, and that's going to, for a couple of laps, take the pressure back off. The lead was getting down to less than a second. It was actually, the lead was actually 1.1 second. It'll stretch back out to 2 after a mistake. But you do see now that Kressig in the orange truck has got that ground speed over Perry. And there will be ebb and flow in this race. It's half an hour. There's no fuel stops in large scale. So they've filled to the brim. The cars will get a little bit lighter. It won't make a big difference in a 15 kilogram car. They've lost about 300 grams of fuel. And Kressig again, after a good couple of laps now, had a couple of shaky laps, or shaky half laps. He lost 1 second exactly at last time. And look, he's lost the distance he gained, and he's got Chung for company behind him. This is where it went last time. So, Perry now has a very healthy lead again, about 2.5, 3 seconds. But Cressy has 19 minutes and 55 seconds to try and get it back. And Perry got a little bit unsighted by the 7 truck the 9 truck of Lee Chapman. Didn't lose much time. And the level of concentration that we're going to need to see from Cressy to catch up is going to be immense. He lost another 1.3 seconds in that lap. So Cressy in 2 laps has undone the work of 5 minutes. And what you do see is the actual metronomic precision of Matthew Perry, who has not made a single mistake. He's just going round at a pace every lap, and that pace is pretty quick. Not ultimately quick. Best lap Perry's done is a 43.2. It's the best lap we've seen is a 42.6, and he's doing 42.7 and 42.8. He's not even half a second of 4 other cars' fastest lap, but he's doing that lap every lap. And this lap again, it swung slightly back to Cressy. Cressy did 43.7 to 44.1 for Perry. Let's take our leader for a second here, Harry. Just have a look at the metronome as he is. In the 1, the loaded truck with a lot. He's actually taken off a couple of plastic for this one. He had little rear fins in white that were behind the car. Those have come off for some reason. On the top of the load bed, it was a real truck. Looking to have gained a little bit again this time, just stretching the lead slightly. It's still not ridiculous. As he hops over there, you see the orange truck of Cressy going the other way. That lap round was a 43.0, so that was his best lap so far. And that was why suddenly 7/10 of a second increased the gap. And the gap now is at 3.8 seconds, which is quite a comfortable distance now, because Perry's now got himself with just under half of race distance. He's got himself an accident, basically. He's got himself a wobble ahead. So he can have a roll, he can have a very bad couple of corners, he can have a misunderstanding with some of the back markers, and he'd still be okay. He gets past the 7 car of Civil, I think that's Civil Antonov, was it? No, it's Matthew Stokes he's just gone past. And that time round, 43.3, 43.5. So Cressy did a good lap and still lost 2/10. All tiniest of minor errors in overtaking there. Stokes lost a couple of them, but that's matched by a bigger error from Cressy. Man, also not making is Chung. Chung's not got a great much. He's not, compared to the other two, got the same amount of speed on the track, but he's still staying very, very close to Cressy. There's Perry. And again, he's stretched the lead. He's kind of put in a little bit of sprint. He's done this and a mistake from Perry for the first time there. Just rolled the car. Let's have a look at our first Duke racing replay of the final. And he's compounded it slightly, actually, by then having a problem with the back marker. But he's got, as I said, he's got an accident in hand. So whilst he did this, when he comes up and over, gets the leap all wrong, turns, rolls, loses not much, half a second, 3/4 of a second. Because he's got such a lead, he hasn't got to worry about it. And we'll see what that actually did to him in lap time when he comes over. And his time, he clips the time, was a 44.8, so it only cost him a second. Cressy did 43 flat, so he managed to gain 1.5 seconds thanks to that error. But as I said before, Perry's got a couple of these in his pocket. He's now got the all-black number 5 truck of Tobias Westenhoff of Germany in front of him. The referees are getting the back markers out of the way quite quickly. So they've already, within not quite halfway, lapped up to 6th place. Now, interesting, Cressy has managed to drop Tommy Chung for the first time. Now 2 trucks have crashed. Cressy gets past the first one quite easily. And that lap round, Perry 44.4. Cressy 44.6, including an overtake. And up the inside goes Kresic and takes Vest off. So just drop back to Kresic as we alternate between first and second. That's the only real battle on track. No one else is fighting. This is, of course, the European Championship. There's no bump-ups, no interest in 5th place over 6th. But at the moment, these two are trying to catch up. And it's been a slightly better lap again for Kresic. He's gained a bit more this time. Didn't see where or if there was even a particular error by Perry. Oh, then Kresic makes a big error there. So you see he was running a bit short for the double there and didn't have enough oomph to get over. And it was a 42.9. So what would have been oh, and Perry, oh, lucky there. Perry, very lucky, up on 2 wheels and just ahead of Kresic, but he got away with it and didn't lose any time at all. So Perry's feeling the pressure. He's pushing on now. Kresic has dropped Chung effectively. Chung now back about 3 seconds from Kresic, who we see at the moment. You can probably see Chung just you can probably see Perry flashing in and out of the corner. And again, the ebb and the flow of this one, it's just having a couple of minutes of ebbing back towards Kresic as he reduces the lead a little bit. The lead the last time round was 3.3 seconds. It's not 3.3 seconds now, I can tell you, as Perry goes round in a 45.0 and Kresic in a 43.4. So that lead has been halved in 1 lap, and Kresic now needs to find a way of getting it down below. So we are having now 17 minutes. The cars are as close as they've been since lap 3. Now, whether Perry now goes defensive, I don't know, but Kresic getting close to Perry. So Perry has not been headed in any of his races so far. He won the first 3 rounds of qualifying. Didn't bother turning up for the 4th round. He didn't start. Oh, and Kresic again has had he's lost a little bit of time in this one. But Perry's not been headed so far. He's light to flag the semi-final, and he's led every single centimetre of this race as well. Kresic better on the double that time. So we see them come down on the main straight. You'll see just flashing beneath us in a second. There he goes. We look at the far corner. They go into the King Cobra corner. There he is. Just in the corner there, that is your leader, Matthew Perry, with Mark Kresic chasing in second. Last time round, he lost 1/10 of a second. And there again, the quarry is so visible to us. And obviously, it's also visible to the guys up on the rostrum. Kresic taking a little bit of a liberty there with the first part of the Samba corner. He knows he needs to make some time up. But there's always a risk that he will roll. Last time round, Chung with the 43.7. They always made a 1/10 of a second. This again looks like a pretty neutral lap. The lead, which was 1.8 seconds. As Kresic does make a minor mistake, and that cost him a bit at the end. He lost about half a second right at the end of the lap there by having to turn slowly. 43.1, 43, or 44.4. That was a lot more. 1.3 seconds he lost doing that. It didn't look like that, I must admit. I did like a 1.3 second mistake, that kind of difficulty in turning at the end of the double. Now, marshals are running all over the place to get the stranded car on the main straight, but no one's going to hit him. Now, already I would say in this lap, the lead, which had stretched to just shot exactly 3 seconds, has come down a little bit. Perry gets a lucky pass on the 10 car of Damian Petrov. But that will even itself out of a half now. They'll all have even Stevens of good luck and bad luck as far as back mark is concerned. Now, Petrov can get out of the way, and he does, so Kresic go back around again. That lap was a 44.3 for Perry and a 43.6 for Kresic. So Kresic eases that gap back down again. This time it's down to 2.3 seconds, and he lost a bit of drive there. And always, always, always tantalising out of reach is Perry. Kresic loses another couple of tenths with almost roll. And what's happened actually is you see Tommy Chung's coming back into play in 3rd place. So Kresic is having to be so much on the maximum he can do to get anywhere near gaining on Perry that it's just costing him too much. He can't keep it going. He was quick in the second half of the track there. Despite that error, laps have come round. It was a 44.1 against a 44 flat. So despite the error, Kresic didn't lose anything, which is a kind of a good result on a lap where you've made a mistake. Perry goes laps up for the second time. Gerten van Merdorf, and he got through him nicely. Van Merdorf looks like a pretty heads-up driver. I've seen him driving before. And slight mistake there from Kresic. I think he may have slightly gained by it. Now Van Merdorf, I'm sure, will stick to the outside. And he does, right up the outside, which is hard to do without catching out. And certainly now they look a bit closer again. Perry now goes round the Graffle hairpin, flies a double, and they are now very close. It's the closest they've been, and we are just 20 minutes down, 10 minutes to go. And what it's turned into being rather than a short course bonanza like last year, but this is short course chess. the ebb, the flow, the fight, the parry, the thrust. Oh, and Perry gets himself out of line, and suddenly Cressig now is going to be absolutely on him. When they get to this hairpin, they're going to be nearly as close as you can get on a hit on that particular brick level, because it's a one route only. And now, around the distance has dropped down to 0.7 of a second, and Cressig suddenly has a chance to become the first person to get past Matthew Perry in this entire event. But Perry regains himself, does what he does best, which is drive consistently, and then go down again. That was a 43.9, it was a 43.8, so a tenth of a second gain there by Cressig, and now he's getting to as close as you can get, because there's a certain point where these cars take about 3 or 4 tenths to cover a certain part of the track, and therefore you can't actually be in the same space. So you get to 2 or 3 tenths, and you can't get any closer because the car's in the way. The 6 car keeps out of the way well. That's Sybil Antonov. They've now lapped up to 5th, and right behind Cressig as close as he can possibly be, with 9 minutes to go. Now, whether they've had this for the whole time, can Cressig get round Perry to go round the EFRA section? Matthew Perry, MAT will be on your screen. Mark Cressig, MAR. They double it, and Perry's very good round that hairpin. Again, that little section there before they turn right onto for the main straight section. Very, very good move for Perry in the Losi, being chased down by Cressig in the MCD. He's been working on that car the whole time. They got the inside, and can Cressig get the round? No, his nose gets wiped off. Almost alongside, almost had the track, but Perry said, nope, I have enough ahead to come across, and he took the line, and that was not where Cressig wanted to be. But now they're right together, and they've hit each other, and they'll wait, because Cressig knows how to drive this thing. He waits, and Perry picks up the volume again. That was a game for Tommy Chung. And starting from scratch and re-accelerating. Look at the gap suddenly that Perry has over Cressig, because he has stopped, and he got the acceleration. They come now down to the gravel hairpin again. This is a section I think that Cressig had to single that one, so he's going to drop back a little bit this time. He didn't get the drive out of the gravel hairpin. Certainly something I do feel. Oh, he rolled it! And Perry now gets a bit of a get out, but Chung comes up the inside of Cressig. Let's see that again. That could be pivotal after all that time. And Chung's got through. Let's look at the first part as Chung gets through the second. Oh, he's rolled the whole thing on the Duke Racing replay. But then again, a problem begets another problem, and an absolute gift now for Perry with 7 minutes to go as second and third are nailed together, and Tommy Chung picks up second place. Cressig drops to third. Now, has Chung saved some power? Has Chung saved some speed? He's not that particularly quick, but he's not that far behind. Now, will Perry mentally lift off, or will the veteran Tommy Chung claim a European Championship? Suddenly, Cressy's been left behind. There's a bad lap for him. Perry, 43.9. Chung, 43.7. 46.8 for Cressig was lap number 31, where the European Championship disappeared from Mark Cressig. And was it the point where Tommy Chung, released from having to follow Cressig, suddenly finds his strength? Now, remember, they're in uncharted territory here. They've not gone more than 20 minutes on a run at any point on a set of tyres, on a set of fuel, on anything at all. And it does appear that Perry's pace has just dropped a little bit, because Chung, who has been dropped at one point now, is gaining back on again in the white truck with the red roof bars, or red kind of support of the roof, coming on the straight now. That time round, 43.8, play 43.1, and Tommy Chung is coming. The veteran British driver. It's a British one too, which has not happened to my knowledge at a large-scale event. We had a British winner. First year of Ian Oddie won the large-scale for Euros, but since then, scant number of Brits in the A final even. But now we have a 1-2. We have Matt Perry, still never headed in the entire race. It's close. They were side-by-side once with Cressig. And Tommy Chung, sensing blood, but it's been a better lap for our leader, who you see just going out of frame as Chung navigates the short hop before the gravel hairpin. Chung flies again. At this point, it looks a bit closer. So Chung is good in the second half as well. And they come through there, and it's a 43.1 for Perry, but a 42.9. They're finding extra pace. Cressig has just done a 42.4, the fastest lap of the entire race. They are pushing like Billy-O with 5 minutes and a half hour to go. So after two of the most boring semi-finals in the history of the world, for short course, we're being treated to an absolute smorgasbord of delights here, as 3 cars and 3 drivers are absolutely going for it. The man in possession of the lead is Matthew Perry in car 1. The coming man is the older man, which is Tommy Chung in the car number 3, or truck number 3, and Mark Cressig, who's pushed as hard as he could for most of this race, is currently in third. That doesn't mean anything. Now they come around, there's a back marker. The back marker is car number 9, keeping out of the way. It is Lee Chapman of both the first two drivers. That time round, a gain of 0.3 for Tommy Chung. 4:45 left. And the pressure on Perry must be immense. He's been literally out at the front for the 26 minutes we've had. And he's never had, for about 2 laps, about 6 minutes in, he had a bit of clear space. And behind that, he's always had someone pushing hard. Chung now, who has been the most mistake-free of all the drivers. He's just kept the car on the island for the 25 minutes and 39 seconds. We've seen very few mistakes from Perry as well, and Cressig's made a couple of big ones, but even 3 seconds down. Okay, it's out the way. They cross the line, 43.7, 43.4, so another 0.3 for Tommy Chung in the 3 truck, capping up with Perry in the 1 truck. Losey 1, Losey 2, MCD 3. Cressig has more trouble getting the back marker, and these two have got a little bit of a break now as we enter the final 4 minutes of the race. Chung does a little bit of momentum, stopping hard. Now the question is, and the famous thing of course always that Murray Walker used to say, catching is one thing, passing is another. And a clear pass on this track is not the easiest thing. Or the work of Perry makes a mistake, lost all momentum, they're coming off, got slightly unstarted, I think, by Van Meerdendorf, and he lost a lot of drive and a lot of ground, and Tommy Chung now comes to the inside, they fly the double together, Chung looking for the inside, and he touches him, and he waits, obviously, because he's a gentleman driver. They come down the straight again, and the confusion with Gerten Van Meerdendorf there has kind of brought Cressig back into play again as they go. The leaders go over the paving section. Cressig now trying to go push as hard as he can, but that time round there was a gain of only 0.1 of a second for Chung, but he was so close. They actually touched each other again. That's about the 3rd time the leaders have touched. No harm, no foul. He waited, let the and Chung's going to get wheels. He got wheels. That was a lucky escape, but he's going to put himself back 2.5 minutes to catch back up again. And Chung now pushing hard. Let's see that one again on the Duke Racing replay. Just got a bad bounce. Yeah, he spins. But the thing was, if it was back, it was all over. It was wheels, he can carry on. And he lost in what his first mistake I've seen there, 1.2 seconds. Now, is that the pivotal moment of the half-hour final? 2:28 to go. And Chung has Cressig on his tail. I can't believe Chung will settle for second. He doesn't need to do that. But can he push back and can he find Perry? And you kind of think that it's going to take a little error from Perry. There's been a couple because Perry's finally got breathing space with about 3 laps left. I would say this and 2 more. I think it might be this and 3 more. We'll find when they go across the line. And it's going to be 2 minutes. So it's this and 3 more. So it's 3 more laps now for Chung to do something. And Chung gained nothing. Lost 1/10 of a second that time round. Cressig gained 2/10 of a second. And the gap between the leaders is 1.8 seconds. So Perry has 3 circuits to do something I've never seen, which is lead every single lap of an event he entered. He didn't actually enter the round 4 of qualifying, but he wasn't better at any point. And Cressig now fighting for second. And Perry and Cressig now looking up the inside. So we're going to come round here. There'll be 2 laps to go. And it's Perry with those 2 laps. And he's had a better lap and he's pulled away again. So after surviving no end of worry and no end of pressure, the second and third battling hard now, Chung and Cressig. And that probably is going to be Perry's saving grace, is how hard Cressig is trying to get past Tommy Chung as they're on the penultimate lap. Diving down the inside. Cressig looking for an over-under, but he's lost a bit of momentum there because he's trying to get round and get a better drive. It didn't quite work. Now, interestingly, Chung is a little bit nearer Perry as well, but they're about to start their last lap. And Chung all over the side, but he's done it quite well there. Gets good drive, and they're right together again. Perry in the lead. He starts the last lap, and they're nailed together. The distance is about 5 metres. Can Tommy Chung take a dramatic last lap victory and make the only lap that Matthew Perry of this race has not led his entire meeting being the last one, but no, better drive from Perry. He gets the lead. Chung swings it on the brick section. They come into the Sam 6 for the final time now. Time will have elapsed in 12 seconds. This is definitely their last lap. Perry has Chung up the inside. Will the veteran Brit get a better drive than the younger Brit? No, Perry now has about 3 corners to play in the European Championship. He swings back again. Will Chung find something? And I get the impression that Chung's going to go tight. He's going to drive. He's rolled him. He's stopped him. He's bashed him. But no, then single. And they lift it up. And that was the final time. He's not going to get it. Just drive it up the inside. And they're through. And Matt Perry wins. Led every lap. He wins it in the end by 0.5 of a second. It's less than a second on the top 3. You can't say fairer than that. Tommy Chung is second. Mark Kressick is third. Matt Perry wins. And we'll see that final little bit of a piece of the action as Matt Perry takes the win. And let's look at that last bit, which nearly happened. Tommy came in. Perry made a mistake. Went too wide, but of course, there's no room through. Very good, very sporting driving there by Tommy Chung. Meant that no harm, no foul. And we can stop recording now.